You know something? I posted a video recently about how Kaylin Garcia from Love and Hip Hop New York, what was it, season 3? She's also on that show. Is it Celebrity Couples Therapy with Joe Budden? You know, Kaylin Garcia, who happens to be a Latina, wore an Indian war bonnet. That's what it's called in the dictionary. Basically, the headdress that so-called Native Americans used to wear, you know, with the feathers on it and whatnot, and it, you know, the one that wraps around your head with the really long feathers. So basically, she wore that head garment along with this outfit as part of a Halloween costume, and you know, she was basically dressed as, I guess you could say, a stereotypical Native American. And when I posted the video on YouTube, originally I posted about it on my blog, and I was saying, you know, she received a lot of backlash for her Native American Halloween costume for 2015, and that I didn't see the big deal with it, and that, you know, it's just a costume or whatever. And then I looked down in my comment section and I had all these racist comments and whatnot from Native American people. And I mean, I was even being called the N-word. And it made me think about something. You know, I've seen this before on social media where Native American people will, you know, just sit around and call so-called black people the N-word, blah, 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 N-word this, N-word that. And I just sit back like, that's really interesting, because I don't ever remember seeing in my life, definitely not in person, I don't even remember seeing this happen on the internet, where a so-called black person went off on Native American people and said a bunch of racist stuff and whatnot. So, you know, I just thought it was really interesting that so many Native Americans are so freaking racist to brown people. And, you know, I've heard some not so nice things about Native Americans, about how they're more impoverished than anybody, than any other group in America. You know, alcoholism is rampant in the so-called Native American community. Not that Native Americans all live in the same community, but basically they're in a really, really screwy position right now, not just in America, but in the world in general, because for the most part, they're here in America. And the situation that they're in is supposed to be the most bleak of all of us. And then I come across a New York Times article. I'm going to read to you some of this article. It's titled, "For Native American Women, Scourge of Rape, Rear Justice." Now, this is posted on May 22nd of 2012 by Timothy Williams. If you want to read the article for yourself, click the link below, visit my blog. You can find the link there. If you need some help finding the link, just say something in the comment section about how you want the link, and myself or somebody else will give it to you in a comment. So Timothy writes, and I quote, "She was 19, a young Alaska Native woman in the icebound fishing village of 800 in the Yukon River Delta, when an intruder broke into her home and raped her. The man left. Shaking, the woman called the tribal police, a force of 3. It was late at night. No one answered. She left a message on the department's voicemail system. Her call was never returned. She was left to recover on her own. Quote, I drank a lot, she said this spring. 3 years later, you get to a certain point, it hits a wall." Pause the story right there. Here we go with the alcoholism thing again, right? Anyway, back to the story. It goes on to say, 1 in 3 American Indian women have been raped or have experienced an attempted rape, according to the Justice Department. Once again, 1 in 3. That's 33%. 1 in 3 American Indian women have been raped or have experienced an attempted rape, according to the Justice Department. Their rate of sexual assault is more than twice the national average. In no place, women's advocates say, is more dangerous than Alaska's isolated villages, where there are no roads in or out, and where people are further cut off by undependable telephone, electrical, and internet service. The issue of sexual assaults on American Indian women has become one of the major sources of discord in the current debate between the White House and the House of Representatives over the latest reauthorization of the landmark Violence Against Women Act of 1994. blah, blah, blah. You know, the story goes on and on and on. And if you want to read the whole thing, you know, you can click the link below, visit my blog and whatnot. But what I wanted to do was skip ahead in the story a little bit and read a little bit more to you. Now, listen to this. It says, and mind you, this really stuck out to me. It says, here in Emmenac, the overmatched police have failed to keep statistics related to rape. A national study mandated by Congress in 2004 to examine the extent of sexual violence on tribal lands remains unfinished. Now remember, 2004. Now this is 2012 when the article was posted, so we're talking about almost a decade later. Here in Emmenac, the overmatched police have failed to keep statistics related to rape. A national study mandated by Congress in 2004 to examine the extent of sexual violence on tribal lands remains unfinished because the Justice Department says the $2 million allocation is insufficient. But according a survey, I guess they meant to say, but according to a survey, anyway, by the Alaska Federation of Natives, the rate of sexual violence in rural villages like Emmenac is as much as 12 times the national rate. In interviews with Native American women here and across the nation's tribal reservations suggests an even grimmer reality. They say few, if any, female relatives or close friends have escaped sexual violence. Now listen closely to this part. Here's a quote. It says, quote, "We should never have a woman come into the office saying, quote, I need to learn more about Plan B for when my daughter gets raped," says Sharon Estoyer, a woman's health advocate on the Yankton Sioux Reservation in South Dakota, referring to the morning after pill. Quote, "That's what's so frightening, that it's more expected than unexpected and has become a norm for young women." Wow. So they're just waiting to be raped and looking to have abortions because, you know, they know that somebody's going to rape them and raw dog them. That's how dangerous it is. They're preparing to be raped because they know it's going to happen. So why don't they move? Is it because Native Americans don't have to work? You know, if the conditions there, it's like they're putting themselves in the projects on purpose. You know what I'm saying? You're going to live there where you go and get a freaking abortion pill because you just know your daughter's going to be raped. And you're not doing whatever you can do to get the fuck out of there so you and your family can live in a safer environment. I mean, what type of welfare state is this? I mean, this sounds like sheer laziness. This is just disgusting. It sounds like Native American people don't even care about their daughters. That's what it sounds like. I'm not saying that is, in fact, the truth. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that after reading this article, Native American people are looking really, really bad right now. That's if they even are actually Native of America, but that's a whole nother topic. We could talk about that another time. But I wanted to know, have you ever read anything like this before? About one in three Native American women have been raped or survived attempted rape, whatever, and people preparing for when their daughter does get raped because they just know what's going to happen. I mean, I would think that something like this would make international headlines. I mean, if they're the, you know, the natives of America, if they are in fact the first ones that were here, even though a lot of people know the truth, but if they were in fact the first ones that were on this land and whatnot, and they gave these people all of this free land and whatnot, and this is what they've done with it, turn it into like rape reservations or whatever. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that things are quite as bad as what's being reported. Hey, maybe the statistics are wrong, right? I mean, a lot of people believe that statistics are irrefutable facts, but hey, maybe they're incorrect to some degree, right? My whole point is this: some of this has to be true. I believe that that woman really did say that. I don't think that somebody just made that up on the fly. Oh, I'm preparing for when my daughter does get raped. I need that abortion pill. Disgusting. Disgusting. Sounds very savage. That's like some subhuman behavior right there. You know, people running around raping women to the point where they have to walk around with a baby killing pill in their pocket just in case. Not even just a case for when it does happen. Kind of like knowing that it's going to rain. It's going to rain sperm, you know. But anyways, this is all my opinion. Let me know what you think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels. Visit meatmagazine.blogspot.com for more. Oh, by the way, do you think that the Indian reservation should just be all closed down to avoid this trouble, since they can't seem to police themselves? They can't seem to get it together with all the alcoholism and rape and everything like that, the violence. There's a lot of gangs that they're in, and just a lot of, they're living in squalor. Lots of squalor. And it's really, really shameful. So let me know what you think about it below. Meat Magazine. Oh, I just realized something before I go. Where did they get their money from anyway? Was it our tax? Was it my tax dollars that they ended up getting? Because if so, I want my money back. If this is what they're going to do with it, I want my money back. No more free native handouts. Get it on your own. If I have to work, you got to work too. This welfare state is disgusting. Meat Magazine.